Hello, everyone. This is Tommy at World at War Comics, and thank you for joining us today. We have another amazing couple of guests on the show today. But before we get into that, please hit that subscribe button, hit that ring bell. That helps out the channel. And it also allows you to know when awesome interviews are being dropped. So please help us out by hitting subscribe and that ring bell. Today's episode is brought to you by Cien Chilies, CIENCHILES.com. Go to cienchilies.com for all your hot sauce needs. And when you check out, use comics at checkout. You'll save 15% off your total order. Best hot sauce you'll ever have, I promise. It's also brought to you by Comic Crusaders, the best in comic book reviews, movie reviews, music reviews, and interviews. They have some of the best interviews you'll find in the comic book world. Check out comiccrusaders.com. All right, without further ado, I have two amazing guests, and today's topic is Black heroes in comics. And what better than to have Andre from Black Heroes Club. You could follow him on Instagram and TikTok. Just go to Black Heroes Club. And we also have Jermael Lessie, and he is the writer and creator of Absolver for Konkret Comics. You could go to concretcomics.com today and pick up Absolver. Issue 3 just came out. It's an incredible comic book. I promise you will like it. It's a mature comic book, but make sure that you pick it up. You are going to enjoy it. And it's brought to you by Konkret Comics, so you know that the quality is going to be top notch. All right, without further ado, here's Jermael, Andre, and I talking about Black superheroes in comics. All right, everybody. Thank you.
How are you guys doing?
We're doing good. Actually, we were just kind of catching up because Jermael is the writer and creator of Absolver. So we're like, well, if Andre can't make it, man, we're just going to have a podcast about Absolver. And then right when we got in, like 3 minutes into it, I saw your name pop up. I'm like, he's back. So
yeah,
we're good, man. We're good. If you're okay, I mean, we could continue, and then I'm going to have Jermael on another time anyway. Is that okay with you, Jermael?
That's fine. I'm here to go with whatever direction y'all would like to. I'm here.
Yeah, so I think we could still have that same conversation, Andre, if you're still up for it, my friend. I mean, you got the time?
Yeah, absolutely. I do, but let me ask you this. So I got boys. If you can see, I got a refrigerator open. Do you guys mind if I cook dinner while we talk?
That's all good, man. That would be different for sure. That'd be awesome, man.
Actually, it's funny because on some of my other platforms, like some of the other people I go live with, they're like, Black Hero's always cooking something. So like, I guess that's going to be my new little thing, man.
Hey, it's either electricity or they're cooking, man, right? Their powers are always electricity.
Right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
It's all good, my friend. Cook away, man. So let me, I'm just going to introduce both of you real quick. And start like as we're starting from the beginning, because I could cut out anything we want to cut out. That's why I love doing pre-recording, and then we'll just have a conversation, man. And there's nothing scripted. I have some of my favorite comics that have Black leads. I got my compendium of Milestone, which every human being should have, because I think Icon is one of the dopest characters ever. And then
if you don't mind me asking, where did you find it, and was it a reasonable price?
So it was $60 on Amazon.
Oh.
How much did you pay?
I haven't bought it yet. Yeah, I haven't bought it yet. I'm mad at myself because if you go back into my feed, I saw them for they were like $34, maybe.
Jump on it, man.
41. And I'm gonna go look. I'm gonna go see how much they are now.
Yeah, so like the cover price on this is $59.99. So I paid full price. I actually ordered it through my comic book store because they told me when it was coming in. So I made sure that they had it on pre-order for me. So I paid full price. If I would have waited till now, then obviously I would have got a better price. But I'm glad I got it though, man. So jump on. If you get it fine for $35, man, that's a deal. Because this literally has like the first, I don't know how many years. But it's
it's supposed to be a completion of them.
Yeah, it's everything, man. There's so much in here. They got Blood Syndicate, Hardware, Icon and Rocket, Static Shock. There's just so much in here, man. So yeah, but right on, man. I'm gonna introduce both of you, and then we'll go from there. Is that cool?
Yeah, yes, sir.
All right. All right. Hello, everyone. This is Tommy at World at War Comics. I have two amazing guests today. I got Andre. If you're not following Andre on TikTok, on Instagram, Black Heroes Club. You should. I've learned so much about Black Heroes that I didn't even know existed just listening to him. You always get these obscure ones, Andre, that maybe had like one shot in one comic book that I would have never have heard of before. So I really appreciate that. And then we have Jermael. Am I pronouncing that right?
It's Jermael, but you're good. You're good.
All right. Jermael Lessie. He is the writer and creator of Absolver, which is a badass comic book with Konkret Comics. I've been in love with this comic. If you listen to my interviews with Derek from Konkret Comic, I always bring up Absolver because I'm obsessed with this character. And just kind of finding out a little bit from you of your passion, I could see where some of that that passion is being drawn from. We won't say it here. We'll save that for another time. But such a good comic book. Congratulations on your success, by the way. Because it's awesome. I just picked up issue 3, which I got right here, which you could get right now. So 1 through 3 are available at concretcomics.com. And then from my understanding, 4 will come soon. So
yeah, definitely.
Nice, man. Well, I appreciate both you gentlemen joining us today. The idea, right, and I was talking to Andre just back and forth on TikTok, is I love what he does, and I wanted him to come on the show and just kind of talk about the passion behind Black Heroes, why he does what he does. And then, man, I'm glad that you're on too, because I think I would love to understand how important it is to have that kind of representation in comic books. And I know just talking to other creators that are Black owned, the lack of that representation is what drove them to do their own thing. So even though there's a negative, I feel like there's a positive that came out of it, because I'm not sure if we would have Konkret Comics if that didn't take place, right? Or Ace Blade or Tap and Die or Harriet Tubman, right? A lot of these creations have come out of that lack of representation. And so I do appreciate that, but I also know that that representation should be there. So anyways, man, I thought we'd start the conversation off from there, if that's okay, and go from there. So maybe, Andre, maybe we could start with you. Where did this passion to start your channel come from?
Behind every single comic book, there's a story, a sad story, being bullied, being, a trauma, or losing a parent or something. That's why we can all relate to comic books so much. It's just an illustration with pictures of telling a story, like Batman, him losing his parents. Like, people go through that. People look for a character or superhero to look up to in the times where they feel weakest. And that's why I actually got back into Black superheroes, or superheroes in general. It's not just about Black superheroes, because there's a diversity of them. White, Chinese, Japanese, there's a diversity of heroes, and they all relate differently to different people. Sure. So I went through a little sad story, and, I was looking for something positive to for a positive habit. And I was like, man, what can I do? Music is cool, but there's a lot of music. I love books, but even reading now is kind of difficult. I got my kids, I'm cooking. When do I have time to read? And then I remembered comic books. And here's a confession. Before I went into this comic book shop, I did not know that Static had his own comic book. This was only 4 months ago. Yeah. I didn't know Static Shock had his own comic. I knew about Icon Rocket, but Static Shock is a TV show animated favorite of mine. Yeah. I went into the shop. I found a Static issue number 2 for like $7. And I was like, no way. And that's where my inspiration picked up. I was like, I didn't know Static had his own comic. Let me look at these other characters and see if they have their own comics. And I just I ran with it. And I started researching, asking questions, doing the most with going on all these sites and scrolling through databases of information. So that's how I got my little start.
Yeah. Nice, man. I appreciate that. Jermael, how about you, man? We were kind of talking before this, how you got into comic books. Maybe we could start from there again. And then, did you see that was lacking in comic books growing up? And where did you find that?
Well, this would be quick what we talked about earlier. Yeah, I got my comic books because my father was into it. certain mediums.
Yep.
But definitely a lot of it is rooted in a lot of how I feel now was rooted in how we grow up. You know, I remember there was a time in my life where I felt like as if I wanted to be white.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think I was in second grade, you know, and I remember my cousins there on the table, Jermael, why would you want to be white? You know, and then I remember telling, you know, Santa Claus was white. We was heavy in church. Jesus was white. You know, everybody that's prominent and important to a second grader was white. Even the Easter Bunny was white. You understand? So I got out of that eventually. You know, so I didn't start looking at the world differently until I got into spoken word, started doing poetry. And but poetry became less of making it rhyme and sound cool and more we need to learn how to reach people. That's when my eyes started to open up to the world and things, you know, so in my young 20s. So fast forward, you know, we get to this comic book thing, you just think about balance. That's always been my mission, is balance. You know, you could walk into when I started, a lot has changed since, but when I started looking at things differently, you know, you can walk into any comic book store, any movie section, close your eyes, and randomly point 10 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 times it's going to be a white lead. Or somebody that doesn't look like me. So my thing is, it's never to show any lack of understanding or show that I don't appreciate any other race. Because obviously we're here because of our love of Batman and Superman and Spider-Man. You know, it's just a matter of, listen, you got 99 and we got 1. I got to create 98. You know what I'm saying? I got to create 98. And then on top of that, the next layer would be why are we always in the hood? Yo, Meteor Man got the power of a meteor. He's fighting gangsters and drug dealers. I'm like, okay, we always in the hood, you know. So it wasn't. I believe I'm only gonna speak for myself. It wasn't a matter of lack of seeing skin color. It was just lack of great storytelling. We always have a gimmick. There's always some single mother, some gangster, why can't we just be black with great stories? You know? And
that's a good point.
That's how we fell in love with Spider-Man. Peter Parker was white. I don't care. I love this shit out of Spider-Man, you know, and it's my mission to balance and then create great stories. And they happen to be black. And that's my start.
That's awesome, man. That's great. And I don't know about you, Andre. I don't know if you've had that same experience. Jermael's talking about, you know, stories that you could actually relate to, not just representation, but also the story behind that representation. Does it align with how I grew up? And are they good stories, right, that you could relate to?
Right.
Yeah, so for me, with what Jermael said extra is that I grew up in the suburbs. Hold on, I'm sorry. Go, baby. Thank you. Oh,
you're good, Andre. You're good, man. You're a father. You gotta do what you gotta do, my friend.
Yeah, right. I grew up in the suburbs. My dad and my mom, they both worked. I was an only child. And a lot of friends or people said that I spoke white. I lived in the South Florida, and that left a really bad taste, or it left me lonely. So the only thing I really had to turn to were comic books, which, by the way, Archie. And but there was no real representation around me except for when the animated series Static Shock came out. That was the only representation. I'm sorry, let me take that back. So people will say, what about Blade or what about Spawn? I grew up in a Christian household. So that was demonic. So I didn't hang out with it. The vampire, you know, I know who they are, but I wasn't. And then that also didn't let me fit in with the cool kids at school because that's what they were reading. They were reading Blade. They were reading Spawn. They weren't reading Icon. They weren't reading Milestone. They weren't reading clean comics. They were reading, you know, these bad comics. And then also, like, now that I'm starting to see and scroll through a whole lot of content, there's a lot of stereotypical things that you see in these comics that don't portray every single black man. They don't portray every single black female. They don't portray it correctly. And that's why I also am happy that Jermael like is doing this, because we need more of that. But let me be clear, it's not about being a black comic book, but it's about the representation and story that's not told for certain people. That's what it's really about to me.
Such a good point, Andre, and I think Jermael, I think you kind of said very similar. So, was there a comic in either of your experience where they did hit on the lifestyle of that person in the comic that was more relatable, or did you go through most of your life when you saw another like black hero in that stereotypical role that was hard to relate to? Like, was there a time where you're like, I could relate to that, and that definitely meets the need that I have for that representation?
No.
Yeah.
I was a fan of Spawn.
Yeah. Yeah.
I tried the Ghost Rider run when they restarted it. You know, they always reboot it, but it was one reboot. I tried it.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I couldn't keep up with it. You know, I was a fan of storytelling.
Yeah.
You know, again, a lot of while I'm doing this is not because I don't see the representation.
Yeah.
In the medium,
right.
I see what it is in the world. You know,
exactly.
You know, I feel as if when you have a platform and a talent, you have a certain amount of responsibility. I'm not saying don't go ahead and create and have some fun.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just saying that you have to understand where you live. I have nothing against any other race.
Yeah.
It's that you have your responsibilities for you. I have my responsibilities of me. It's you know, a lot of people will, like Andre said, he lived and grew up in the suburbs. My parents didn't have the best financially, but they did the best they can.
Yeah.
So, you know, our experiences are going to be different, you know. So that's where it started for me. So now that I'm grown into this side, and then I started to see things like, why, you know, we don't need another Superman that's black. Like, we have Superman.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty easy to say a Kryptonian survived that happened to be black. He names himself the Dark Shadow. When you tie Superman with the original Superman, when I research it or my son research it, the white Superman is going to appear.
Yeah.
And I don't like how they did that with Spider-Man as well, with Miles.
Yeah.
There's 3,000 different spider species. Like you know, so you know, I say ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
So once before that, I was just a fan of comic books.
Yeah.
So then when my eyes started to open up to how the world is treating me, I no longer have the shelter of my parents. Now everything is wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
This was innocent for me. Now I see the war behind it. You know. You know, and so, you know, that's what it is. It's the mission is all about balance and fairness and being respectful.
Yeah.
I'm not here to say Spider-Man is stupid and whack because he's a white man. That's not what I'm saying. I grew up loving Spider-Man. I'm just saying they could have did Luke Cage and take him out the hood.
Yeah.
I didn't, you know, like, you know, so. I know I spoke a lot. Go ahead, Andre. I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
No, that's good, man. I mean, I think that's very relatable. Andre, anything else to add to that?
No, you did perfect, man. I would actually like to start like interviewing this comic. Like, tell us more about the comic. What is in it? What can we expect? What are we looking forward to? What is the story, the origin? Not too many questions, you know, but like, give us a taste.
Origin. I was raised in church, and I kid you not, I enjoyed the stories more than what the preacher was reading them to us for. Like, I just love the story. Oh shit, this man survived a fish. You know what I'm saying? So I was intrigued with the story.
Yeah.
On top of that, one of my older sisters, she was into Greek mythology. So, man, whatever she read in high school about the Greeks, I would listen. She had a book like this thick with all the Greek. I used to read it over and over and over. And I just fell in love with that type of stuff, including like my father raising me in the comic book world or whatever. But once you become a fan of Spawn and playing Mortal Kombat, and then and your first anime experience was Pokemon and Sailor Moon. but then when you see that anime where they chopping up heads and blood flying,
yeah.
I mean, I said all that to say that Absolver is definitely based with the battle between heaven and hell. You know, heaven has its angels, hell has its demons, but Absolver is a mezzo, and he comes from the oblivion, aka limbo. You know, and like I said, everything about Absolver is there's a meaning behind every detail, every design. Absolver was originally supposed to be a character whose original origin was he was a young kid driving the car with his family, get into a car accident, they all die, and he could bring them back to life if he made a deal with this angel. You know, I was purposely going against Ghost Rider and Spawn. I know an angel, you know. So that's what I was making it off of. But then that Trayvon Martin case one happened. And when George Zimmerman got off, I felt this like
that was I don't mean to interrupt. I apologize. That was a while ago. How long have you been writing this book?
For a while. For a while. You know, nothing's ever just on the spot with me. You know, you let Lonzo tell you before I submit a script, it probably went through 10 rewrites already. I can't help myself.
Yeah.
You know, I can't. You know, a lot of people will look at Absolver and be like, "Oh, he just created another hero," but like he's gray for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, the world is black and white. You make those together, it's gray. You know what I'm saying? That there's a whole bunch of details.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I enjoyed about Eminem was he was free to be creative as fuck.
Yeah.
Say what you want to say and do what you want to say. So with Absolver, I wanted to break boundaries.
Yeah.
I wanted, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody wanted, when is Absolver going to do this and do that? But nah, we got real life evil people in this world.
Yeah.
As a father, as a father and an uncle, you know, you feel some type of way about child molesters.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, as somebody that has sisters and a mom and a wife, you feel some type of way about rapists.
Yeah.
You know, these are the people that need heroes too. You know, and when we read comic books, it's an escape.
Yeah.
You know, we wouldn't be real or human if we didn't acknowledge our real feelings.
Yeah.
I feel some type of way when I read or hear about innocent kids getting hurt and killed, and like I feel some type of way.
Yeah.
I'm not the only one, but somebody who feels this can relate to Absolver. So Absolver to me is a way to vent my frustrations and always let people know what I'm against and what I'm with. And that's why Absolver 2 was really it was
it's deep, man.
It was important to me.
Yeah.
So I try to create a good balance of like this is what's going on in the real world. Now let's get back to the story.
I
know you're on topic, but yeah.
No, you're good.
I have a question. So with the concept that you're talking about, are you talking about, like you said, you had poetry? Are you talking about like a Paradise Lost type of story, or somebody that is struggling between right and wrong?
Well, Absolver always going to be represented between what's right or wrong. He's always going to get caught up in that situation.
Yeah.
You know, to commercialize it, Absolver is a hero. But if you take away that layer, there's a lot to unfold.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the world is ugly. People can be ugly. You know, it's people are judgmental.
Mm-hmm. For
You
sure.
know, so Absolver to me is very poetic.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a page in issue 2 where no, is it issue 2, issue 3? I am sorry, issue 3.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I break down my understanding of religion and spirituality. But you know, the goal is to keep it fun for the readers, you know. Because that's what we have, man. It's a time capsule. Absolver wasn't meant to be good or bad, just exist. You know,
Mm-hmm.
a lion is a lion. You know what I'm saying? The lion is cute when he's behind the cage, but the lion's a monster the minute somebody wants to jump in the lion's den. You know?
Yeah.
So that's how I created Absolver. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, of course, you still gotta look at the business side of things. So Absolver was necessary for me emotionally at first. You know, I don't ever usually admit that a lot. You know, he was the concept I picked. If I didn't understand the comic book industry, so if somebody was to steal my idea, shit, let it be Absolver. You know, he was just an emotional vehicle for me. It was, you know what I'm saying? I did not expect Absolver to have fans. I just wanted to learn the industry, and then here we are. You know, so
you know, Absolver gets help, especially in issue 1, from I can't remember what they're called, but the lady,
who, Leah?
Leah, that right, because she's also like, what does she represent to you in that story? Because she comes, because in the issue 1, right, he's trying to figure things out, and then all of a sudden she comes on the scene, and she does supply some support to him as to whether he takes that or not, but the it's there, right?
You know, again, everything there's a message. Y'all asking all the right questions. You know, to me, my opinion, our people's greatest weakness is a lack of unity.
Mm.
You know, I want to show, like, no matter how great Absolver becomes, bro, you're nothing without the help of the people that's having your back.
Yeah,
he's gonna need help.
You know, who's gonna guide you, who's gonna show you, and on top of that, Leah represents that motherly love.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Absolver arriving with him coming out the womb. Who's the first person he meets? Leah. You know, she's there holding his hands, explaining to him what's going on. You know, these things are important.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's Leah. That's how I created Leah.
That's cool, man. Yeah. Andre?
So how did you stumble upon Konkret Comics? I actually have heard a lot about them. Sadly, I need to go in and support you guys, like buying these comics. But how did you hear about Konkret Comics? Can you tell us that story?
Well, you know, I was just thinking to myself, and I'm like, well, I need to start a comic book company, and I'm gonna name it Konkret Comics. Then I found Derek. I was gonna hire him, but we became best friends, and there we go, Konkret Comics. No, actually, like I said, I want to start the business.
Yeah.
Learn the business. So I had got on with Powerverse at the time. I went in. I was in Powerverse. You know, it was a good company. Vince is a cool dude. That's where I met Onaji.
Oh, okay.
You know, but because Onaji and I came in later, we was behind everybody.
Yeah.
So Onaji and I was just very, very impatient. So we tried to figure things out. He hit me up one day, and I don't know. I'm trying to figure things out. But during all of that time, I was searching for my own artist to work on my book.
Yeah.
And I saw this dope picture of this blue character, you know what I'm saying, fighting this other guy. I was like, whoa. So I contacted Derek. And he's like, nah, I didn't draw this. This is, you know, I got this created for my own character and stuff like that. And I was like, how? Man, I've been trying to figure out. And he's like, no, you got to find the artist and and then they help you. And and Lonzo, he's cool for that. He's a nice guy,
Yeah.
Because prior to that, so much people were gatekeeping information.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a very important part of the story. Certain people was gatekeeping information, and I ask, and just won't give you no answers.
Yeah.
Derek just gave it freely.
That's awesome.
So, and then so we started communicating and talking, and then I was telling him about my ideas for my universe and my business. He was sharing his. So that started coming like, yo, what if we join our universes?
Yeah.
And and then one thing led to the next, and then it became a conversation of business. I feel like, yo, we need to grow this thing strong. So after
for sure.
Attempts,
yeah, just in case you're not aware, this is the other part of the universe. This is Acolyte.
Yeah.
And this is Derek's creation.
I saw that.
Yeah, so Derek is the creator and writer of this comic, and then you are the creator and writer of that comic. So yeah, I mean that's awesome. Go ahead, please. I just want to make sure people know what you're talking about, Acolyte.
Right, no problem. So yeah, after a few failed attempts of adding the right foundational piece,
yeah,
I was like, yo, Onaji. I know this cat from Powers, Onaji. I think he'd be cool.
Yeah, Naji's awesome, man.
So we end up talking to Onaji. He ended up joining Konkret or whatever. Yep. Odina. Onaji, the writer and the creator of Odina.
Yeah.
So and then from there, the rest is history. That is where we're here now, And the funny thing is, shortly after our launch, I think our second issue, a lot of those people that were gatekeeping information wanted us to be in their publishing house. And I was like, wow, that's how you're here. That's what it is. So, I mean, honestly, it really started with, not that I know he's going to listen to this, so not that I really needed his help, but the kindness of Derek just shared information. We got us here,
Yeah.
Yeah, be careful what you say, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Derek has been so amazing to get to know for me too, and he's actually been a lot of help for me as well. So I'm glad that you found that, because I think that environment also brings out even more creativity if you feel like you're going to have that kind of support, right?
Yeah, sure it does. They are all, like I said, unity is very important.
Yeah,
it's not just a matter of having a group of people together. It's a matter of having the right people around you.
Yeah.
Because Absolver at first was a monster. I was going to go straight to that Curse of Spawn vibe, not that.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted. Absolver was ruthless.
Yeah.
After many conversations, Lonzo convinced me of the business side of things.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking poetically, like, yo, I just need one person to understand this story, and like, we got to sell comics. So we dumbed down Absolver a lot, and now that I've accumulated a specific fan base.
Yeah.
Now I can move on to the Prince of Oblivion, which is, the real Absolver story I wanted to tell.
Yeah, that's cool.
But it's having the right people.
Yeah.
It's having the right people. Some people are afraid to admit it. That how fragile you are mentally.
Yeah.
Or B, how strong you are. So everybody knows who they should have in their corners or not. And I made it a very important aspect of my life to like shrink all my circles and have the right people around me all the time.
Yeah.
Because even if you don't like what they're telling you, you're listening to it. It's going to play in your mind, and that's all you want. So
that's awesome.
The right group, the right group.
Andre, please.
I didn't know if I needed to raise my hand or not.
Not at all, man.
Let me ask you this question. So you talk a lot about the business aspect of these comic books. I don't want it, because I know that you're doing this for you, but for somebody that's getting into it for maybe money, what would you advise them? How would you talk to them, or what would you suggest?
I'm going to say, if you're getting into this if your number one priority, number one reason is money, then don't do it. I'm not even going to sugarcoat. Usually when I get this question, I sugarcoat it. I'm not.
Yeah.
Why I say that is, you look around, you look at Thomas's wall. You have your podcast speaking on it. I'm creating it. It's a grind.
Yeah.
It's a financial grind. It's a mental fatigue. You got to write. You got to think. But more important is it's the creative aspect of it.
Yeah.
If you have no passion behind it, whatever energy you have in it, what you're going to put out. And it's hard for me to be a critic of other indie books.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm an indie creator myself. I don't want to rub nobody the wrong way.
Yeah.
And not saying by all means I'm perfect.
Yeah.
But when I mean by passion, it's because I'm passionate about it, and everything I've learned, I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to go redo my issue 1.
Yeah.
That's money. And there's no guarantee I'm gonna make that money back.
Mm-hmm.
But the passion behind it and the things I've learned, remember, we was gatekeeping, we was learning the business.
Yeah.
And now with all these new tricks and writing techniques, I'm like, I need to go rewrite issue 1 and get it redone.
Yeah.
So, that's the same reason why Alonzo got a brand new issue 1.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things and I'm to the point where I might change a couple pages on issue 2.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? This is where it's at. But you want people, because as an indie creator, you're gonna sell your book for like $10.
Yeah.
$8, whatever. I'm used to going to the comic book store with $10 and walking out with 2, maybe 3 issues.
Yeah.
And they're at the standard and the quality that I like.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to give me, so I know what I'm looking for when I go to the comic book store, and that's the same thing I am trying to deliver. Some of these indie people, I feel like, bro, when's the last time you went to a comic book store? Nothing looks like this.
Yeah.
Nothing reads like that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do your research, a lot of indie fans who are skeptical about buying books is because of the bad writing or the lazy artwork and you understand what I'm trying to say? And to me, I'm not judging.
Absolutely.
I'm not judging one's art. It's very subjective.
Yeah.
But I could read an Adventure Time comic book and love that artwork.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not being, that's the style they're going for. That's the style.
Yeah.
But if you're telling me you're going to deliver Batman quality books to me, and I'm expecting Batman quality.
Yeah.
Because the cover is dope. They all, but when I open it up, bro, this is not what you promised me.
Yeah.
This is not what you told me it was. And
yeah, that could scare them away.
It can't be money alone.
Yeah.
There has to be a level of passion. I feel like a lot of these movies that we don't like, as a creator and as a fan, you can tell whoever's behind the scenes, it was more
absolutely
and money versus let's get a bunch of people to have passion about the story that can really help us get to where it needs to be. So hence you got lazy writing and
absolutely
and
the Flash.
Yeah, the Flash. You can't be all about money. Sorry.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I mean, it's really hard to make money in comics, to be quite honest. And so, like, if it's not a passion, I think you'll be in and out very quickly, and you'll have a loss, and you'll have a really sour taste for comic books for the rest of your life, because it takes a while. I mean, you've done something pretty amazing already. I mean, to get to issue 3 and 4, that means you already have a fan base. So that's amazing. Most people that get into it, right, you're putting out 1, you're hoping that it does well. But even if it doesn't, a lot of times you've only reached like 50 to 100 people, right? So you got to get into issue 2 and 3 and start to get your message out. It's so difficult to build it up. So, I mean, for you to be on your issue 4, I mean, that's a testament to the writing, like you said, the artwork, and people relating to it. But that's really hard to do. But even that, I mean, I'm not sure if you're driving around with a Bentley right now because of the sales of your comic. If you are, that's impressive, man.
Well, yeah. Well, are you? Because I'm curious. I might have to sign up.
If you are, man, I'll be the first one in your class, man. How to make that happen?
No.
That pause before the no. No.
He probably drives a Bentley. He just didn't get it from comics.
Didn't come from comics, yeah.
You know what? You know what? Honestly, man, it has been a tough year for me.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be honest.
Yep.
Okay.
Slowly getting out of it now. And having a great team to hold you down while you're going through stuff definitely made it easy. I would have never stopped writing comics.
Yeah.
But just having that positive reinforcement, it helped a lot. Hence why I'm still here.
Yeah.
Because again, if you're just strictly about money, when the real world hits you, you're going to pick and choose whether you want to do this or not.
Yeah.
I never stopped wanting to do it. I just didn't have the money to do it because a lot of it is self-funded.
Yeah.
And it's it's a drive, man. That's why I say you need the passion. That passion is whatever you need to keep this thing going.
Yeah.
And there's one thing I tell my son who's 13 years old, and I'm trying to say, you can do whatever you want to do. I said, son, I tell him, if I was to leave this earth right now, nobody can take away that I released comic books and people across the country read it.
Yeah.
I am a comic book creator. I said, I've accomplished my dream.
Yeah.
Like, it was never about making the money to get an Bentley. It was always my dream to write for Marvel and DC and create my own heroes and get it out there.
Yeah.
It wasn't until we released issue 2 and I was like it, but then you really think about it, like, hold up. I'm a comic book creator.
Yeah.
Why did I need to have Marvel and DC on my resume for me to feel some type of way? I don't need that shit.
Yeah.
And I realized it. Like, I've made it. Mentally and spiritually, I am very wealthy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's huge.
So now that I understand that, the goal is, all right, cool. I need some of that spiritual wealth to translate this physical realm.
Yeah.
But that's where it's at.
That's so cool.
Do you still want to write for Marvel and DC?
You know what? Only out of respect. So I do not want to apply to them. When they seek me out, I'm like, yes, I made it. It's not even about how much they would have paid me. It's okay, you need me. Because, growing up, you felt like you needed them.
Yeah.
Nah, so the goal is for you to need me, not for me to need you. Oh, we need to get Jermael lessons.
Yeah.
But, I'm going to take the Batman story over everything.
Yeah.
Batman. So,
well, I mean, I think it's pretty impressive, Jermael. Like I said, to get to an issue 3, you're already working on issue 4, and issue 4 will get done, right? So that's pretty amazing accomplishment, to be quite honest. And I know you said you're going to get to issue 5, and so I feel like you've kind of accomplished quite a bit in comics already, which is pretty awesome. And talking to Derek, I mean, I think that was kind of his goal at the beginning too, right? It obviously turned into something else where he's been able to meet all these other creators and bring them together to build out this universe. That's pretty amazing. I mean, I'm a huge fan of the entire universe. Like I said, I have so many. I think I have almost everything that's been produced so far through Konkret, and I love it all, man. I just got to read your issue 3 because I just got it, but man, and then Watchmen 2 I got to read because I just got that. But it's just incredible, man. And when I was talking to him, and some of the things that we mentioned at the beginning, that passion to not only create a publishing company where he could live out his dream as a writer and creator, but to do it with Black-led characters was super important for him too. And man, you look at all of these, which all these stories are absolutely incredible, and there's a Black lead on every single one of them. And when I talked to Tyler Martin, when I had him on from Godhood, same thing. And look at the antagonist. That guy's already in Hollywood about to, put out his first, I think it's going to be a TV series, if I'm not mistaken. I know he went back and forth from a movie and a TV series, but it's about to become live action. David, same thing. It got picked up by Massive, and then it also got picked up by Disney Plus, a director that works for Disney Plus. So they're talking about doing a Disney Plus series for Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer. So, I mean, there's been this lack for such a long time. And now all of a sudden, all these creators like yourself have come forward and put amazing stories that cross. It's not just, Black comic book lovers, man. Look at me, man. I love these stories. These stories are incredible. So you've been able to do something that's absolutely amazing. And it's incredible. And And now we have these amazing black-led heroes that probably don't exist, right? We have 30 heroes in Marvel and DC that all their powers are electricity. And then we have all these amazing characters that you've been able to put together with all these amazing powers, man. I don't know. I think it's awesome, man.
A quick question for you, Mr. Tommy.
Tommy, yeah.
Is it all right? Cool. What inspired you to start reading these indie creators and researching and learning about Black creators or Black heroes?
Yeah.
Like, what got you inspired by it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm born and raised in San Bernardino, California. And so San Bernardino, just to give you kind of a breakdown, it's about 55% Hispanic, probably 20% Black, and then the rest is Caucasian and Asian. And so I grew up in a really, really diverse neighborhood, mainly in a Hispanic neighborhood. My wife is Mexican, so all my kids are half Mexican. So I grew up in that environment where, I don't know, I mean, obviously race has always been a big part. It doesn't matter what part of the country you're in. There's going to be issues around race. We had the Black and Hispanic riots growing up in high school. So it's always going on, man. It's stupid, but it is what it is. And it is what it is. So, but man, I grew up in that environment. So, you know, reading comic books, I noticed that all the characters are you know, all white. I get that. And being now a father of kids that are half Hispanic, I mean, my comic book that I wrote has a Hispanic lead because I think that there's a lack of Hispanic, you know, superhero-led comic books. And so I wanted to write a comic book that had a Hispanic lead because of that lack. There's that side of it. The other side is I'm just a comic book fan, to be quite honest. And so I picked up Acolyte 1, and I loved it. And then I started researching, and then I picked up issue 2, and I loved issue 2. And I'm like, well, what else does Konkret have? And I just started buying up stuff. And then I reached out to Derek, and he responded. I was so excited he responded. And I had about an hour conversation with him that was recorded and about a 2.5-hour conversation altogether. So about an hour and a half that wasn't recorded. And man, he just told me everything. He was just so open to me to talk about his story of Konkret, but how important it was to him to have a company where you had Black leads on all the comic characters. So when I read his and I heard that story, I actually picked up Godhood because he was like, hey man, I'm gonna tell you right now, Dream Fury Comics. He started breaking down all these other amazing Black-led publishers. And he's like, if you like these stories and you want to support more of them, look at it. I picked up Newton's Keisha Demon Eater. This is one of the best written, best art comic books you'll ever find. Look at the art on that. It's from a guy from the Philippines. His name is Giancarlo. And then it's written by Newton Lalavos. Dude, this comic book is badass. And then he also wrote Crescent City Monsters. It's in grayscale, but look at the art on that, man. And the story is crazy. Crazy good, man. So I'm like, dude, there's this whole world of comic books my whole life I've been missing because I've been focusing on DC and Marvel. And don't get me wrong, man. If you don't like Black Panther, something's wrong with you, right? That's an amazing character, right? But that's not probably the representation that most readers that are Black are looking for. And you kind of spoke to that, Jermael, a second ago. And then when I talked to Derek and I talked to Tyler Martin, they kind of said the same thing. David Crownson, I had him on just the other day, same thing, man. So it's awesome. Then you have Frederick. This guy's amazing. And he worked with Tyler Martin to learn from him. So if you look at the first Magnus, you'll see why is Acre Comics down here, and you have the Godhood symbol up here because he was being mentored by Tyler on how to publish a book, you know, from the business side. Dude, Magnus is a dope comic book, and he's about to have his Kickstarter for issue 4. But then I got the Meadows, then I got Crisis, I got more coming. Dude, it's a whole other world that's just incredible. So again, I do this.
Bro got money. You got money.
I don't know.
You probably
got money.
You got
That's my wife. I'm not sure if I got money, but I spent a lot on comics. Now I'm older than both of you. I'm almost 50. So my kids are 18 and above. If you got young kids in the house, you're broke all the time. Trust me. I've been there. My kids are adults, now, right? And so and
you have money, right?
Yeah, so I have a lot more money to spend on myself, whereas when they were all in the house, it was being spent on them, right? So for sure, I've been in the same industry for 30 years. I've been successful in my industry. So I do have some money where I could spend, you know, $50 a week on comics, and that's what I do. I try to keep it about $50 a week. And that's, I just built over the time. You got Fourth Wall, Danny Quick, call him DJ Quick.
Mm-hmm.
He's killing it right now. I call him the TikTok king, man. That guy is on TikTok like no tomorrow. But anyways, I mean, all of a sudden, Andre, this whole world of comic book publishers opened up to me that I never knew existed, and it's met a huge need of mine to hear other stories. Because if you read Superman, right, he has 85 years worth of canon that's going to follow any story that moves forward, right? You're not going to see him, you know, in some big space sci-fi story, right? That's not Superman, that's Green Lantern, right? So he's limited on the stories you could tell. Jermael, you are the king and the father of this comic book. You could take it any direction you want, right? If you're on Superman, you're going to be restricted to the stories that you're able to tell, and the editor's going to say that's not going to work with Superman if you want to tell that story. So that's why I love indie comics. I bet you 70% of what I spend is on indie comics, and I've been opened up to this whole world of black-led comics that I absolutely love, man. And I'm happy it's there, and I want to make sure other people know it's there too, because I love indie comics, and I think it's important to have that representation. But what you said earlier, Jermael, that representation that matches real life, not everybody having a Luke Cage scenario in their story, right? Because that's not everyday life for the average person in the United States that's black, right? So anyways, that's why I got into it, and I love it, man. I love it.
Great answer. Yeah, I asked that question too because I really want to see how to get more people that are Caucasian, Asian. I want to see, because I don't want my page I don't want my page to be about Black heroes. Yeah. I'm Black Heroes Club, which means that everybody is welcome, all diversity, you know, but leave politics at the door. Yeah. But like all diversity, come enjoy some of these no-name heroes. Yeah. And like you said, with the indie authors and writers, they're doing such an amazing job. And I feel kind of bad because sometimes it's like I can't afford the comic. You know, like sometimes you hear my kids in the background. 100%. And then I feel bad because like I'm scrolling through the dollar bin and I'm like, well, if you just save this $7, you know, that you're going to spend on comics, you can just, you know, save this week 1, then week 2, and then go buy that comic, right? Yeah. You know, but then I don't have anything to read. But anyway, like it's really good to see somebody actually caring and buying these indie comics because, I mean, like, what would we do, or what would you do, or what would, you know, these indie creators do if somebody wasn't talking about them?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, look, no one's going to read a bad comic. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what your book is about. If the art ain't good and the story ain't good, you might get that first issue out of me, but I'm not buying another one, right? I'm going to buy things that I love. And I could tell you the brands that I'm talking about right now, these have been really good stories with amazing art. And I'm so happy that it exists. And man, I mean, like for you, Jermael, you should be super happy and satisfied with what you've been able to accomplish just in 3 issues. And I know more is coming because we had a conversation before. And I think that's exactly what comics needs.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Andre said something. Excuse me if I repeat it wrong, but
no, you're good.
Andre said something earlier. I said, excuse me if I kind of say it wrong, or correct me, I should say. You talk about, you know, trying to get other races to, you know, see these characters and enjoy them. You know, with us, you know, it took a lot of dreaming. Mm-hmm. You know, everybody is like, oh, all they want to do is go to become a rapper or play sports. Well, you know, that's where we're highlighted the most. You know what I'm saying? That's where we're highlighted the most. Yeah. And these big, you know, it was barely any actresses and actors because we barely had any to look up to, you know. Yeah. Growing up, if you say, name, you know, Black dominant actors and actresses.
Will Smith, that's all I know.
You're gonna say Will Smith, Denzel, and Halle Berry.
Yeah, yeah.
If you're real good, someone's gonna say Andra and oh man, I'm butchering her name, Angela Bassett.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's just off the top of the head.
Yeah.
Even now, I'll probably find it hard just to say 10 easily.
Yeah, yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
So it wasn't when we saw Iron Man and stuff, it was just cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice to see somebody look like me in that. We didn't see that.
Yeah.
So when it comes to other races, they get to see that.
Yeah.
You know, even Asians, you know, they got to see it because everybody became fans of the Kung Fu flick.
Yeah.
You know, everybody. So again, everybody got to see a lot of who they are. They got to see themselves, but in another way. We got to see specific things. So
right.
I believe, you know, I'm not bashing anybody's creativity or whatnot, but you know, you kind of force fed in any space. You kind of force fed them the Egyptian themes.
Yeah.
You added to the hood themes and the drug dealer themes.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's a Hotep. Everybody's from Africa. Everybody's an Amun Ra. You know, you gave a lot of that.
Yeah.
And I feel like with all the brands you named, including Konkret, we're like, yo, we're just gonna tell dope stories.
Yeah.
They just happen to be black.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, that's it. Yeah. You know, I'm not gonna force feed nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and you know, so again, a lot of that too comes from you understand why Todd McLaren said why he decided to make Spawn black.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he finally revealed it to the other fan bases when he released his toys and something like that, they were shocked.
Yeah.
If you understand what happened with Blue Marvel.
Yeah.
And when he finally revealed it, took off his mask.
Yeah.
So, you know, the shock value is there once the mask has come off. Yeah. But you was already in love with a great story. So whether you pick it up or not,
yeah,
you know, that's on you. But you know, it was a great story and you loved it.
Yeah.
So to get to that, I just say it's just all about telling great stories, man.
Yeah.
Like getting people to read it. Like just give it a chance.
Yep.
Just give it a chance.
Agreed.
You know, and that's all that is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean that goes back to what I was saying, right? At the end of the day, you still got to have a really good story and you got to have really good art in your comic book. And then, right, then you'll get all kinds of people reading it. And that's what I love about Konkret. Like to your point, right? They all happen to be black leads, but they're really good stories and the art is kick ass, man. And that's what grabbed me. And that's why I kept, okay, I got to get the next series. What is it? All right, Onaji, you're up, man. I got Adina. All right, what's the next one? All right, you know, and you start going through, and I'm like, all right, I got to pick up those ones and start that story. And yeah, that's awesome, man. I absolutely love it. And man, I you know, guys, I really appreciate the vulnerability. I think that's really important in these type of discussions because sometimes they're difficult, right? But I really appreciate it. And Jermael, I appreciate you stepping up and joining. I know it's kind of last minute. I was like,
it's all good. It's all good.
Eric's all, I can't make it, but I'm like, oh man, poor Jermael, man, we're gonna throw him in the conversation. But man, it's
all good. It's all good, man.
I appreciate it.
You know, we just have to be honest about everything.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I've learned, especially in our community. When I say our community, not just a black thing, a man thing.
Yeah.
You know, opening up and not being honest makes you weak.
Yep.
You know, but it's okay. You know, I don't want because people are gonna judge me regardless.
Yeah, exactly.
And when a lot of people hear my messages, they're gonna feel like I'm anti this, I'm anti that. I'm like, nah, I'm just real blunt about my anti-love for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like it's fucked up over here. My goal is to make it good right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you getting to eat. Oh, you eat tonight? Well, shit, we want to eat tonight too. Like, what, you know that? Exactly. That's what it boils down to, man. And you know, if you can enjoy my story or our story, and it's not about the color of the skin, then we're accomplishing our mission.
Yeah.
Now, whether we have motives to teach or just motives to tell a great story, that's all it boils down to, man. Like.
Agree.
You know, you're starting to learn that everybody had their own struggles. You know, I could talk about my brainwashing that doesn't mean you didn't have yours.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, I can totally understand. I can totally understand why a 17-year-old would be a racist if his parents are racist.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
I don't like it, but there's understanding there. Yeah. If that's all you know, then that's what you're going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And deep down, he may not want to do it, but because he has to exist in that environment, that 17-year-old, they're going to do as such and act accordingly. And, I feel like we'll be in a better place when everybody starts to just have a level of understanding. I don't got to agree. I don't got to like it. Just understand.
Yeah.
And if you feel like you're going to judge, ask a question.
Yeah.
Hey, Jermael, do you hate me? Nah, man, I love you, bro. I just got to worry about mine. I can't clean your backyard and my backyard messy. That don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what it boils down to, man. And then again, passion. Yeah. There's a love for this thing. There's a love. I mean, between myself, I got like over 700 characters.
Sheesh.
And every day, just always creating something.
Yeah, that's crazy.
How do you manage all those characters?
Listen, I just need to find 700 people that's passionate enough and want to write. You know
Andre, you could do a show for the next year and a half on just covering these 700 characters, man. That's awesome, man. Oh man.
That's what I've actually been thinking, because I do make like certain, TikToks, and I'm like, man, what am I going to do when I run out of these characters? But yeah, I mean, like, just go to the indie characters and, start going. Yes, you can watch TV when you eat. But yeah, man, it's
awesome,
it's an amazing. I'm going to do it.
Yeah. I mean, that would be incredible, man. And I know, I mean, you could start with like an absolver, right? And you got the guy right here you've met, so he could tell you the background. You could do a pretty awesome TikTok on absolver. And not only that, it would expose more people to the indie scene and get more eyes on what they're doing. And, we talked, right, that the realities of creating a comic book, man. I can tell you, I've created a comic book. It cost me $5,000 of my own money to create that comic book because I'm not an artist. So I have to pay an artist. And so it gets very
bro, I told you he had money.
I had to do a Kickstarter to help me with that, man, which was successful. So, I mean, that's why Kickstarter is there, right? It helps you finish your comic book. And then in return, they're getting a copy of your comic book, right? So without Kickstarter, I mean, a lot of these stories would never see the light of day, right? Because it's really hard to get a deal with the publisher. And Jermael, you've done both, man.
So I mean, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? It's a matter of what do you want?
Yeah.
What you gonna do to get it? What are you gonna do to make it happen?
Good question.
Without giving any details.
Yeah.
I was like, Lonzo, when we first started, we need to do X, Y, and Z. Or we should try to do X, Y, and Z. He's like, but I'll think about it. So some old head in the industry told him, we should focus on this, that, and third, and stick to strictly this.
Yeah.
If we want to be successful. So that's what Lonzo told me. And I was like, all right, cool. See, there's this thing, you can't tell me no or I can't. There's always a way of doing something.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's always a way.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, we can do this. And he's like, well, if you could figure it out and it's not so cost effective, then okay. I was like, all right, cool. So I went to my little basement, my lab, and I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I thought about it days. And then I was like, yo, I got it. I called it immediately. I'm like, yo, I know how we should do it. He's like, what? So I pitched him the idea and the concept, and he's like, yo, that'll work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Why am I saying all of this? Is like, everything you want to do is out there.
Yeah.
It's definitely out there. I wanted to play soccer growing up, and then one day I was like, no, I want to be an artist. And that's a whole nother interview. I can tell you how that happened. But, you know what I'm saying? But I want to be an artist. So I started teaching myself how to draw.
Yeah.
then I realized, because I thought I had no talent, but my greatest strength was if I want to learn to do something, I'm gonna learn it.
Yeah.
So I taught myself how to draw. I taught myself how to do graffiti. I taught myself how to color digitally. I just whatever I need to do it. I need to do it. And all of these things came because this is the space I needed to be in.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I had to become a spoken word writer so I can write, because you know that shit was never fun to me. I was always creative. I could always write a story.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
yeah.
you know,
you're forced to write something you're not passionate about, right? Is really hard.
Yeah. Yeah. So, if you want to do it, do it. Like,
yeah.
If your goal is to release a comic, do that shit.
Yeah.
If you got it, it's like literally do it. Because once you do it and you release it and somebody reads it, whether they pay for it or not, you are officially stamped as a comic book creator. You know what I mean?
You can check that box off.
Just do it.
Yeah. That's the story of hip hop.
Yeah. Just do it.
Yeah.
You know, and I know it sounds crazy, and some people might say, yo, money this, money that. Listen, if it takes you 4 years to get your comic book finished and printed, then you make that the dopest first issue in the world. And you sell that motherfucker. Do what you gotta do. But just do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Agreed.
And then you should always focus on what you can do versus what you can't do.
Yeah.
You know, when I went through my little issue this last year and I couldn't afford to pay for production, I focused on the writing.
Yeah.
Nobody, Jermael, you're not there on social media, you're ghost. Jermael, you got to share more. Like, yeah. You know, when it happens over 4 coming, it's coming, you feel me? But I can tell you, I kept writing.
Yeah.
I'm always writing. I don't know how perfect it is. I know the grammar and the spelling is messed up. I don't care. I'm writing.
Yeah.
I got an idea. I'm pulling out my phone, go to my notes and real quick. You know, I'm always writing.
Right.
Because that's what I can do.
Yeah.
So now when everything goes right, I don't gotta worry about writing a story.
Yeah.
It's already been done. You know? So, yeah, man, I'm excited about your book, man. $5,000. You did it.
Yeah.
You did it. You know what I'm saying?
That probably took me 6 months to get it done and get the money raised for it and all that. So, but got it done again, and now I got issue 2 almost done. I got the art done. I just got to do the lettering and all that. So, but yeah. Well, I look up to guys like you and Lonzo and Najee, man. You guys, you're a lot more successful, man. I gotta get to your level for sure.
Man,
you guys are paving the way, my brother.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, listen, I feel like we're all here.
Yeah.
Because whether you're white, black, Hispanic, Asian, red, green.
Yeah.
So every time you're trying to get somewhere, there's always somebody that's blocking it for you.
Yeah.
You know, Marvel and DC did it to themselves. They could have had all of this.
Yeah, exactly.
But they were gatekeeping like a motherfucker. and so this is what they forced.
Yeah.
They were hoping it wouldn't work. They were hoping that, because they know how much it costs to make a comic book, and they're looking at, you know, people like you and saying, you can't do it. You can't afford to do it. You know, he's gonna bomb first issue. We bombed first issue. He's gonna lose. And now you're doing it, bro. You're here. And I just wanted to also take like a second to check in, bro. How are you, man? Like, real talk. I mean, like, I don't know if you want to cut off the cameras, whatever. I struggle with mental health myself. I have that anxiety. I have that depression. I don't know how I'm going to pay these bills. And I worry about my kids, and I worry about like the struggles of paying my car. And bro, like, there's a noise coming from my Nissan. I just bought that thing, bro. And like, sometimes I just have like these panic attacks where I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned that financial crisis. You mentioned you were going through stuff, man. I just wanted to take a second and really sincerely check on you, bro.
You know, I'm good. You know, I'm good. You know, my testimony maybe would help somebody else out, so we don't have to cut. You know, it gets tough. It gets tough, with anything you're trying to do. But I've learned that, it's okay to cry and it's okay to punch some shit as long as it's not a person. I'm not condoning no violence. You know what I mean? But once you do all of that, you do that because you're crying and you're punching because you're like, all right, whatever this is, I gotta shake it. I gotta shake it. So when you clear your mind and you're able to take a deep breath, so you gotta tell yourself it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
You gotta tell yourself it's gonna work out. And you're allowed to feel negative sometimes, I believe. Some people preach, well, you can't think like that. I mean, I'm human. I can't, there's no on and off switch. I'm gonna think that way. It's not a matter of how many times you fall. Like, it's true. Like, how many times you won't get back up.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't, whatever you believe in, hold on to it. I don't care what it is you believe in or who you believe. Hold on to it. You have your reasons. Me, I try to stay. I want to say I'm more the spiritual side. I'm not a crazy woke person. Like, I don't want to sound judgmental, but a lot of it's becoming OD now. It's like, you're just like the people you talk against. But that's the topic of another day. You gotta listen to the signs.
Yeah.
One day I was on TikTok, and that somebody playing a clip of the Lamborghini movie when he approached Ferrari.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all saw it.
Yep.
And I'm like, man, that movie looks interesting. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
I never seen it, so I decided to watch it. And the first thing I grasped is this man is willing to do whatever he needs to do to fulfill his dream.
Yep.
I mean, as crazy as it sounds, him not being there for the birth of his child and not gonna say goodbye to his wife, that's sad. But I didn't see that. I saw dedication. I saw like, yo, it's gonna be hard. Shit's gonna happen, but you gotta do what you gotta do. So I'm good. Things are getting better. I'm good. And sometimes you gotta hold on to what you do have. And I have Absolver. I have my imagination. So I can't let those things change. Every time I close my eyes, I can live my dream still. You know what I'm saying? And these are the things that we have to hold on to. So I'm good, bro. That's the asking. I'm good.
Hey, sometimes it gets deep, my brother, but you're doing a good job. I can't wait to read the comic. I haven't read it yet, man. I need to. And not just yours, Konkret in general, because I've been hearing such great things. I follow Konkret on Instagram and TikTok, and like you guys are just giving the world these amazing godlike heroes. And you're doing an awesome job. It means a lot. Real talk, thank you. Bro, I don't know how much time we have. Like, do we have unlimited time?
Can't hear you, Tommy.
That's a Tommy question.
Can't hear you. No.
It's that awkward silence, man. So let me ask you this. What is your future goals for Oblivion?
The Oblivion is going to be a big deal, because everybody's talking about the final battle. There's always a final battle between heaven and hell, heaven and hell, heaven and hell. And I feel like I've created an area in that realm that nobody really takes advantage of. Most of the time, everybody talking about limbo is usually somebody's spirit stuck on earth, couldn't transcend for whatever reason. But I don't believe. I don't know. I'm gonna say I don't know. I'm hoping I am the first to like take full advantage of this situation. And I hope by all means there's no other mezzo out there for the same exact reason. But it's a big deal. Oblivion is a very important player in the final battle that nobody wants to talk about. So that's my goal. with the Oblivion and Absolver's universe. I just really, really want to make it a very important player. And basically the Oblivion, you would say, is a sixth man. So they try to, you know, that team, that basketball team that's trying to get their sixth man because they know that's what's going to take them over the top. So whichever side Oblivion goes, that's where it'll change the ties of everything. But if I'm going to give away anything, I was taught a very important lesson. Like when you create a story, you know, you got to know how it's going to end. You need to always know how it's going to end. Not just for you, but if you want to pitch it to somebody and they want to take, they're going to, what's the word I'm looking for? Invest in you, you know, or take you on. Some of them may ask you, how does your story end? And you need to know. And I couldn't decide what that was over. And because I'm hell bent in being unique, I was like, fuck it. My lack of being able to tell the decision is going to force me to give all three endings out. You know, readers just pick up all three different endings, and these are the possibilities. I feel like when I think about it, I was like, it would be so dope. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, I remember some of these actors, they be talking about how they feel about the movies when they go to the red carpet. And some like, I don't know. I haven't seen the final edit. I was like, how dope is that? So they film all these different endings and they don't even know. I was like, shit, I was over going to have multiple endings. And I was going like, so I'm going to let everybody else get it, you know, and it makes perfect sense. Heaven's ending, hell's ending, and then the Oblivion ending, because I don't want you to speculate on what if. What if Oblivion went to heaven? What if this was going to happen? But the actual true ending would be the Oblivion ending. But you will get all possibilities. So hopefully I'm sticking with three because my mind is crazy. You know? So that's what that is.
My vote is don't end it, bro. Like, I mean, like we have all these stories, right? And some of the best stories are the ones that end on a cliffhanger and leave you wanting more. Like, I want more. Man, what was the name of that movie? I can't remember all the names of the movies, but there was this movie where like they're in the spaceship and they say, you know, they got away from the black hole, and it was like, what next? And they didn't make a sequel. They just ended the whole series. And people are still crying out because they want more. They want more. I mean, bro, you don't have to make an ending, you know?
Is it that movie, Matthew? No, I don't think that's what it is. I think not Interstellar. Was it Interstellar?
No, bro, but it was a sci-fi movie. It came on sci-fi a lot, and it wasn't a movie. It was a TV series, and it takes this crew, and there was a Chinese guy, a black man. The captain was like a white girl, and then they had this like little teenage person with them. It always appeared on sci-fi. I can't remember the name of it, but they left it on a cliffhanger. Not Firefly. Bro, I'm gonna have to look it up. I
don't know. No, Tommy, we still can't hear you.
So you might have answered this. Who's your favorite hero? Batman?
My favorite hero is Spawn.
Okay. Man, bro, I feel bad now. I didn't mean no like disrespect about talking about Spawn. I mean, I just wasn't allowed to watch him growing up, you know?
No, you're totally fine. My father sheltered me from a lot. So me reading Spawn, I had to sneak it. Me listening to rap music, I had to sneak it. You know, the only time I got to see Terminator was with my dad in the room with us, and that's because he wanted to see it. I mean,
yeah, no, same. Like I didn't get to see rated R movies at all. Like no rated R movies, PG-13 movies. I had to be 13 in order to go see it. Bro, I grew up with Will Smith. Like I grew up with Will Smith and Usher. Those were like two go-to people. But everybody else, I wasn't allowed to listen to DMZ. I wasn't allowed to listen to Ice Cube. And I feel bad about that now because now I feel like I was too sheltered, if that makes sense. And now I really don't know. Like now I'm starting to listen to, Biggie and Nas and everything, and I'm starting to develop and understand the culture, but I still don't fully understand it. And I don't think I ever will. And me being a Black man, that makes me sad, because I missed out on that cultural experience that defines, a lot of people.
You know what? When I look back at it, kids are so easily influenced. Having a son, a lot of the things that he's getting in trouble for is because of the influence. So I don't think my father was overprotecting us in the sense of you can't listen to this devil music. Because as you got older, you realize he was trying to protect my innocent mind. He wanted to make sure his foundational values supersede everything else I'm going to take in anyway. And because he can't protect me while I'm at school when he has to be at work, he's going to control as the amount that I can consume. I just got a puppy. You know what I'm saying? He's about to be 3 months. If you fill up his water bowl, he would drink so much water and not be able to eat, and then be hungry later. So now I got to give him some water, let him eat. So when he finishes eating, I give him the rest of his water. You understand what I'm saying? And then I'm making sure he consumes everything he needs. Don't get me wrong. I know water is very, very important, but bro, you're getting water all day. I need you to eat. I need you to eat. So, as a kid, you're like, damn, why are you doing this to me? Why are you sheltering me? Da, 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 da. But then you realize I was bad. I was adventurous, I would say. If I consumed more of that shit, no telling where I would be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yes, and that's just with me sneaking around. I remember in school night, I would listen to the music I was allowed to listen to until like 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, then wake up tired to go to school. But I had to know what everybody was listening to, or else I wouldn't be able to fit in. But you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but when you look back at it, I got in trouble early, a lot of stuff out of my system early, and I was able to grow up faster. It's a lot of people will look at me and say I'm stuck up, or I feel like I'm better than everybody. I'm like, nah, bro. I just got responsibilities. I got shit to do. I don't got time to waste. I wish I could afford to sit down outside all day and do nothing with my life, but
focus on that money.
Yeah, that's not me. So,
can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, can hear you now.
My microphone stopped working, man. I don't know what happened.
Yeah. But
hey, it happens.
Yeah. Always technical issues, man.
Yeah. So, how do y'all feel about, it sounds crazy. You sit back and you ask for things. And, you want balance, you want respect, you want to be heard. And it's kind of hard to tell when it's genuine and when it's disingenuous or just pandering.
Yeah.
How do we celebrate that? This is what I'm asking you guys. How do we celebrate that? One hand, you like, oh, they're just doing that just to shut us up. The other hand, somebody would say, this is what you guys wanted. Like, how?
I think that you're doing it now, making your own content and selling it. I feel like that's the only way to do it, is to get more people and artists. And like we've been talking about, good artists too. I'm sorry to say there's some people that like, you can go, maybe you should go to school and be, develop the skill better. That's how I'm going to say about it. Or go to school and learn how to write and tell the story a little bit better. But for the most part, we need an alternative. But they're going to keep giving us and pandering, or they're going to keep giving us, because that's all we can afford to get. That's all we can afford to do. We're going to go see the movie. We're going to go buy the comic. We're going to go buy the toy, because that's all they're giving us. Once you give another option, then we can start looking at that option. But it also has to be good, affordable, and that's really difficult to do. But at least you're starting the groundwork for things to come.
Yeah.
Okay. Tommy?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with Andre. I mean, you're talking about very powerful entities, and people with that kind of power want to stay in power. They'll do whatever it takes. So pandering is a big way that they do that, right? And whatever color is popular, they're going to do everything in that color. Let's just say that, right? So because of that, right, you're never going to know whether it's genuine or not. So I feel like what you're doing is the right thing to do. I think we just need to get more eyes on it. Because to your point, Andre, right, it's got to be really good, because it won't be received long term if it's not, right? They might buy that first issue because they are all looking for that, right? There's a market for it, and they just don't know it exists. And so they'll go pick up that first issue. But if that first issue has a bad story, the art's not great, they'll never come back to it again. So that's why when we do have a brand like a Konkret that does things in the right way, that has really good stories, that has really good art, how do we bring more eyes to it to expose to others that are looking for this, that it exists? You just haven't found it yet, and here it is. I think that's where, someone like an Andre and even someone like myself, I mean, all of us have that responsibility, but like me doing a podcast, it's really to highlight the indie creator. So how do I do that in the most professional and most genuine way to reach as many people as possible, to let them know who you are and what you do? That's my responsibility. And if we could do that, I think we get more eyes on it. All of a sudden, you don't need those other entities to do anything for you. And whatever they do, they could just do, but you're going to have more eyes on things that are more genuine, that people could relate to more. Because you said at the very beginning, right, there's a lot of content out there, but it's unrelatable. So because of that, right, they need content that they can relate to, and you have it.
And another thing, just to add on with Mr. Tommy, is content, content, content. I remember listening to this interview about how they used to sell CDs back in the day. Like now we have TikTok and Instagram, but how did you do it back then? And what they did is they would make a mixtape in the booth. They would make it sound perfect. They would spend that money to make sure it sounded good. And then they would go and hustle on the street corner until 3 o'clock in the morning, either passing them out or selling them, because the radio station wasn't picking up hip hop and R&B and rap yet. So it had to start with a movement. And again, that's what you're doing now. People aren't going to be able to afford to buy, the $10 comic as opposed to the $1 comic. Cool. But if it starts becoming popular enough, if the ad placements are there, then the money or the value of the comic doesn't decrease, but the price I have to pay for it decreases.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the more you sell, right, the better pricing that you get on that. That's why a DC and a Marvel, right, they're on the low end probably producing 10,000 of any given issue, no problem. On the high end, it's probably 70 to 80,000. That's the most up-to-date numbers that we have. And that's really down from just 5 years ago. I mean, 5 years ago, they were selling 250,000 issues for certain Batmans. Now it's, if they get 80,000, that's a huge win. And that's because the content hasn't gotten better. The content actually, the writing has gotten worse. And so fans are walking away from a lot of those titles. So we just got to bring more eyes on it. And to your point, Andre, it's got to be affordable, but we could help with that by bringing more eyes to it. Because I guarantee if Derek had a demand for Absolver issue 3 and there's 10,000 people wanting it, he could go to the printer and get a much better price on the comic book, right? The average comic book on indie, like if you go to Kickstarter, is $25 for an issue. $25 you're going to pay for an issue on Kickstarter. So I usually try to stay between the $5 and $10 range. You can still find $5 comics and $10 comics. I know Kickstarter with Konkret, you're usually around $10, which is a little bit more affordable. But man, you got to be affordable, and the only way to do that is bring more eyes to it, right? It's definitely economics, right? If you get better deals, the more you produce on paper, for sure.
And also, just to chime in on what Mr. Tommy says, eyes are great, but I can understand as from a business aspect that it also requires somebody to buy. And I will hope to help, by, talking about it and getting eyes on it. But you also need, like, I would rather have the 1,000 people buying than 100,000 people who saw it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, right, in order to get 1,000 people, you need 100,000 people to see it, because that's probably the rate at which you're going to get that return on that investment. I mean, unfortunately, on TikTok, on Instagram, right, the conversion rate of someone seeing a product and then purchasing it is still very low, and that's why you got to constantly be in front of them, telling them about the same thing over and over again. That's just an unfortunate part of everyone gets excited.
Content.
All about content, man. All about content.
Millions of people are on this app, maybe 1 billion, and they're just sitting there scrolling. Oh, look, a comic book. Scroll. Oh, I've never seen that character before. Scroll. That's all we do now.
Yeah.
I feel like it boils down. It's oversaturation.
Yeah.
Sure. Everybody wants to make a comic book.
Yeah.
So, you spend all this time making sure yours is written well, edited properly, looking great, but a few bad art, what I'm saying? Like,
the bad one, right?
The bad one might get seen before yours, and by the time yours pop up, they already got a bad taste in their mouth about indie comic book creators. So, like, again, it boils down to the trust factor.
Yeah.
If I say I'm gonna go to the store and pick up a new Spawn comic, 8 times out of 10, it's gonna look like and read like what I enjoy.
Yeah.
If I don't like it and a shit ton of fans agree with me, I know I can keep investing in it because they're gonna do something.
Yeah.
This writer, Spawn, is now being written by X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
That you can trust. With the indie community, it's not that easy to get these fans. Like I said, it's when we first started our research, it was the bad art, the bad writing, and for whatever reason, getting too involved with the story, and then I can't finish it.
Yeah.
So these are some of the reasons why fans of indie comic books are very skeptical about investing and looking into it.
Yeah.
So as a community, I think we got to get to the point where we're holding everybody accountable.
Yeah.
And a lot of us got to be open to. Well, let me say this first. A lot of people don't understand the difference between subjective and objective.
Yeah.
And objectively, I can look at your comic book and say, yo, I think this leg is kind of out of place. Subjectively, I'm like, yo, instead of him climbing the wall, you should have him swinging from the next building. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people don't understand that. And in this community, some of our peers, they probably wouldn't take that well. So we ourselves let a lot of things slide that we shouldn't, and that plays a very important role too. And again, it boils down to some people, why would I help you? You're not going that don't benefit me, or I'm not going to help this person, or I don't want to say nothing to hurt this person's feelings, and Like, I think we have to get past that. I'm not speaking like I'm perfect because I fight with that every day. I should say something, but I'm not.
Same.
Should, but I'm not. And the biggest reason why I don't, because I don't represent myself. I'm part of a unit. You understand what I'm saying?
And you don't want that smoke.
Listen, I'm here for it, man. You feel me? I'm here for it. It's just that, it'll be unfair to everybody else. But it's never come from a place of malice. I really, like, you gotta help us the same way I'm doing everything I can to help you. This ain't about a absolver versus you thing. This is about, yo, we got industries that have a chokehold on this thing. We're trying to get through that bubble. You know what I'm saying? Let's ride this spaceship together, survive this journey. And when we get there, we can beat. But right now, bro, I need your shit to be on point. Help me keep mine on point. You know, a lot of that comes into it too. So it's a fight. It's a fight if you look at it from that perspective.
Do you want subjective and objective criticism, or do you not want criticism at all? I mean, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. The positive criticism is cool, but what kind of criticism are you looking for?
Oh, what was it for me, general? Just you mean for general everybody?
Well, when you were mentioning the subjective and objective, I was like, yeah, you have a point. Like sometimes I may see your comic, and I am guilty of this. It's like, oh man, I wish they would have made her hair white. And it's like, bro, enjoy the comic. You don't say that about Superman. You don't say that about Green Lantern. You don't say that about Batman. Enjoy the comic, learn about the characters, and then offer your subjective or objective opinion. What, like, do you look for that criticism? Like, what do you look for in a review? If somebody was about to leave a review on your comic, what would you want to see?
I'm I'm not a fan if you're like trying to be a smart ass. You know, I remember one of my first somebody does a review of my book. You know, they left it. You know, I wish. I mean, I was over dialed it down a bit. You know, that's just a subjective opinion. And I thought about it. Like, should I make this more kid friendly? And I was like, I respect what he said. He wrote whatever how he phrased it was very respectful. I understood his point. If I want to get more sales, I should cater to the kids, and what he said makes sense. And I thought about it for days, but I realized like that's not what that's how I'll create this book. I'm an artist. It's going to reach whoever it needs to reach. Objectively, oh shit, that is wrong. I should have did this. Oh my god, how did I miss that? As a fan, like people are like, well, Jimmy, why don't you draw and color your own book? Because one, if I draw it, it will never get done. You know, I tell you how I rewrite my what you would call it. I wouldn't even say that my artwork, but where was I going with this? Fuck.
You were talking about this
as a fan that I'm paying my artists. When you get back your artwork, like I'm project managing a new character, a new story with somebody right now. And when he saw his artwork come back, the way he called me like, yo, I'm a fan the same way. And I miss a lot of things. Like there's a specific page in issue 1 that bugs me out. I'm like, bro, if I could change anything right now to be that panel. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's that panel where Absolver is squatting down looking at the roach. The whole body is off. And I was like, bro, and it kills me. It kills me. So objectively, I can see that. I just don't like it if you come online and you're talking shit about it, like, bro, this shit is fucking ugly, dog. You should like, bro, who you talking to? That's my first response. You should say, but if you say, yeah, yo, bro, honestly, the face is kind of off. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh shit, you know. So that's why we started going through heavy edits in our story. And that's why I said redoing issue 1 is very important to me because you know, I would rate it a C. Everybody loves it. I love this book. I'm like, to me, it's a C. Like, there's too many things that I should have caught, and that's just how I look at it. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. Let me ask you this: what do you do with when you edit it and it comes out bad? What do you do with not bad when it comes out a way you don't like it? What do you do with that comic?
Well, no,
throw it away.
No, we try to catch everything as early as possible. When you get the line work, you look at it, you look at it, you look at it. Sometimes if you feel some type of way about it, you know, you send it to somebody else. They have like Lonzo or Nadi look it over. Like, hey, yo, bro, I think, and then we talk about it, we discuss it. Sometimes it get a little heated, but out of love, you know. But no, it usually gets fixed. Like I said, when I first started at issue 1, we was learning the business. I was too afraid to have the artist go back and fix it. You know what I'm saying? But I realized, like, shit, it's my money, bro. I need to fix. Not in an asshole way, but like, bro, I need to fix. Like, this does not look good. And I also learned how to have relationships with my artists. You know, I'm not your boss. We're gonna be a partnership. So ever since I created that type of environment with my art team, you know, you're getting the best art out of everybody. But yeah, man, it's just your presentation as well. Like some people online, they're purposely assholes for no reason. Like, bruh, unnecessary. It takes a lot to be professional all the time, and you know. So, but you get used to it.
I feel you. I feel you. So you answered my question, but let me ask it a little bit more detailed way. If when you pop off and you're hitting it with the big leagues, I want to know where I can find that manuscript, that first comic that you printed out, and I'm going to sell that for $1 million. Where can I get that one from? The one that doesn't have no color, the one that has the panels but they're messed up, the one that, you know, he's a little scrunched over, because I'm going to sell that one for $1 million, bro.
No, I don't have that. Everything was straight digital. Matter of fact, I just got rid of the pages from when I switched over artists. I was looking for another artist for issue 2. I had somebody else draw it, and I paid him for a couple pages, and I was like, this ain't it. Just the other day when I was cleaning up my digital workspace, I'm like, I am not holding on to these things no more, bro. I got rid of them. I delete them. I don't have it, unfortunately. You know, I'm part of I'm in between the old school and new school. I'm like, I don't keep too much. You know what I'm saying? Just get rid of it.
Hey, but Tommy, we gotta find that hard drive, bro.
Yeah, but at issue 1, once issue 1 production starts the remix, we're not printing that original issue 1 anymore. So whatever's left is left. Like actually, so the only time we print it usually is when we go to cons or something of the sort. So that'll be, if you got it, you got it. That'll be it.
Which one is that? That's number 1.
Yeah, issue 1, the one Tommy's holding up. Yeah. Tommy, I think the mic went out again. Yeah, man, but
can you hear me now?
You know, mindset. Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, mindset is a real important situation. I mean, it's a really important thing, you know. And you gotta align people with that. So I've been on a quest to find other artists to work. Like I feel like I'm a dope colorist. You know, I could color my ass off. You know, I choose to focus more on the coloring than I do the line work and the drawing. So a lot of people feel as if I don't know, or at least I don't go online and show off that I can draw or color. I don't. That's just not me. A lot of those like Jermael, put yourself out there. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not. I'm not the show off type. But you know, on my quest to find other artists, like, hey, yo, you draw, I color, let's put out a dope book. Let's see what happens, you know, because Tommy, you created a book, you know how much it costs for line work, you know how much it costs for coloring, you know.
Yeah.
Drawing in the colors is the biggest aspect of the color of the comic book, outside of writing the shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's kind of hard. Like, no artist wants to bet on themselves. You know, everybody was scared. Oh, I need money now. I can't. Like, bro, you trying to get paid what, $1,000, $2,000 per gig? I'm saying, yo,
yeah.
If you put in an hour every day, I'm only asking for additional 30 minutes. Let's work on something.
Yeah.
And we didn't pay 80% of it because we are the main talent. I'm a writer, you a writer. Let's do it. and let's put out something. This shit can hit off $60,000. A movie deal. It could be anything. Let's do a quick one shot.
Yeah.
You know, but nobody wants to bank on themselves. So there's this dope artist. Really, really dope.
For somebody that's fearful of that, what advice would you give to come out of that shell? Because sometimes I have that little tree root in the pit of my stomach and it grows and I'm just petrified. What advice would you give somebody that's trying to create and trying to come out their shell?
You gotta look at how you're spending your time and your energy. So I was a supervisor at Lasership. And we're sorting out all these Amazon packages, right? And I'm talking to my employees and stuff. I'm like, yo, I just want to get this van so I can remove these packages my damn self, you know? And they're like, why? You know, just get a normal job. You don't got to worry about the headache and stuff like that. I'm like, yo, bro, we're spending 8 hours here. You're touching all these packages and you don't even see what's going on. He's like, no, what you talking about? I was like, bro, think about it. Let's just take one of these pallets with all these Amazon packages. He's like, yeah. Do you not know Amazon has to pay this company to pay you per package to deliver every package? So you're getting paid, what, $17 an hour, but you could drop, let's just say every package is $1. You could drop 30 of those in an hour. You know what I'm saying? But you got to think about it. Your truck can hold up to 500 packages. And you can do that in a day. So you have to get paid 500 for a week or 500 for the day.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to use your talents for other people, you might as well use it on yourself as well. Like, what you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's the best advice I can give you. Like, you know, you're never gonna know unless you open the envelope.
Gotta bet on yourself, right?
Every time I get on the roller coaster. But once I'm strapped in, I'm like, all right, what can I do? I'm here. Like, I'm here now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Walking to the roller coaster, I'm scared as shit. I ain't gonna hold you. But once I'm strapped in, I'm like, all right.
Here we go.
Nothing I can do about it. I'm here now.
Yeah.
But that shows you that 10-minute walk or 10-minute wait.
Yeah.
All this shit running through your mind and all this fear and all this anxiety, and that shit only lasts 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So most of the time we holding ourselves back. You know,
I think it's human nature, right?
Yeah. We're creating our own limitations.
Yeah.
You know, it's, you know, and life hits you, you know. I was able to afford, when I started working on Absolver 1, I was making a whole lot less money. But because I was so dedicated, we made it happen.
Yeah.
Then I got into a situation where I was making a shit ton of money. I was able to afford issue 2, do everything. But then we decided to buy a house. Any new home owner is going to deal with financial craziness. You know what I'm saying? It's an adjustment. It's a crazy adjustment. And then, you know, I end up having to deal with something for the last year on top of just being a newly bought home owner. Boy, it's been tight. But like I said, your mindset is very important, because at that point I realized I'm gonna focus on what I can do versus everything I can't. You know, I know Lonzo and them, I wouldn't say upset, but they really needed me to push and promote online, but I just wasn't there. Where I was, where I could feel good about myself, was designing characters, writing new stories, and all of that. So
makes sense. Yeah.
Nah, but I can completely relate to, like, you know, coming out of my shell and like just doing it, because I allow the weight of the world to keep me from doing it, man. And that's inspirational, bro. I'm gonna take that advice. You know, just keep pushing. It's always gonna be something, you know.
Yeah. Always something, man. Life is crazy like that. Like the headlock might not be tight, but it's still around your neck, reminding you that I just gotta squeeze a little bit if you need me to.
Yeah, man, listen, it's a matter why you're doing it. Whatever reason you have to do it, that's why you're doing it. You know, bragging rights.
Yeah,
you know, my son could say my dad does comic books.
Yeah.
You know, but I could say I've done comic books. You know, it's whatever the reason why you need to do it, just do it.
Yeah.
You know, and you can't take that away from nobody. Once you do it, you can't take it away. Can't take it back. Nobody can take it away from you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand cancel culture. Like, you can only cancel me if I let you cancel me. Like, bro. You know, again, that doesn't mean I want to be disrespectful. Don't take it the wrong way. I think it's stupid.
Hey, bro, I grew up in the 90s, bro. I don't have that filtered tongue, man. I say what I want to say. And it's like, some things, though, I completely understand because, like, I'll say politics. Like, there's certain way you have to address people, and there's a certain mannerism. And I think somebody should write a comic book about it because that would be awesome. How to, like, approach these people, how to be a little bit more kinder, how to be approachable, you know, and not come off like an asshole, you know?
Yeah. It's kind of hard nowadays. I ain't gonna lie. Everybody's extra sensitive.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even talking shit. Like, I don't understand it. Like, I grew up in the same time period as some of these people. I'm like, where does this extra sensitivity come from? Like, everybody throws out this tantrum word, and it pisses me off because, like, bro, like, no, I mean, listen, I'm not trying to. I don't know what you're going through.
Yeah.
I'm not, but there is people out there that are really dealing with issues.
Like real issues, real,
like
I don't know where my next meal is coming from type issues,
you
right?
Understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just because you get scratched, you say you have trauma, and now we putting the focus on you,
right?
Versus what some people are. There's some people like some people talking about like I have a cousin. He called the night he served, and he was driving whatever truck, and an explosion happened right close to him. Like, there's shit he deals with.
Wow.
From that, and I can only now sympathize for everybody else that served because I see what it's done to my cousin.
Right. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? He's dealing with issues.
Yeah, real issues,
But then you got some people who get scratched. Oh, he called me a dog.
Yeah.
Now you have trauma. Like, weird.
Yeah.
So now the pool is getting spread thin, and we don't have enough time and energy and money and resources for the people that are really doing it, because now everybody has a trauma. I can go speak about something that happened yesterday, and I just want to get it off my chest. This doctor gonna tell me I'm dealing with trauma. So what happened with your father? Like, bro, this happened yesterday. Why are we doing my pop? like I'm good. I don't have no trauma.
Yeah.
Now, listen, I don't want to say that to have fun because I learned the importance of opening up and expressing my feelings.
Right.
I had a doctor. I went, you know, because I needed to talk. There's things that I bottled up. But I don't have no trauma.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, Andre, man, I feel like I'm at the point whereby if I keep my circle small, those that know me know me. It doesn't matter what the other 100 think or say. My family, my close friends know me, and they know I'm not that type of person. You know, so I say once you're comfortable in that, speak your mind.
Yeah.
Like, I follow Long Beach Griffey on YouTube.
Yeah.
Hilarious guy. You know what I'm saying? He's hilarious.
Yeah.
He speaks his mind through his content. I think it's funny, but it's real issues that he makes funny, and he makes so it's always what you say, though. It's how you say it.
Yeah, exactly.
And once you say it, just stand by it.
Yeah.
You know, Jermael, why would you ever create a character that's gay? No, I won't. Oh, you're homophobic. No, I'm not. I don't.
Yeah.
I can't relate.
Yeah.
That's not the space I belong in.
And it's political now.
Yeah.
Even if it's political, but that's not the space I belong in. There's somebody that lives that life that has every right to create their story. You see what I'm saying? So it goes back to how this whole conversation started. I'm only here to create my story.
Yeah.
That's how I live, how I lived, how I see the world, how I perceive everything, how people see me. These are my stories. Yeah. Why would I take that away from somebody else?
Yeah.
Wait. Because I don't want people to take it the wrong way. I will not intentionally take it away from somebody else.
Right, exactly.
But if Marvel and DC came to me and say, yo, I need you to write this type of story, by all means, I'm going to get paid.
Yeah.
But everybody that knows me knows I'm going to research the subject matter. I'm going to research it, ask questions. I'll probably become friends with a specific person that can help me write this character and this type of story and let them get their writing credits. But I'm not going to intentionally just do it because that's what's in, that's what's now, that's what you expect me to do. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with me. I can't tell that type of story.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so
nah, that's cancel culture, bro. You're canceled. Forget that. Cancel.
Hey, I just need the 5 people that know me to buy my book 1,000,000 times.
Well, gentlemen, I gotta go, my friends, man. I can't tell you how much I appreciate both of you coming on, man. We've been going for like 2.5 hours, man. That's incredible, man. Amazing conversation. I hope we could do this again. It really started with you, Andre. I reached out to you, man. Thank you for receiving me, man. I really enjoy your content. I meant that. That's why I reached out to you. And then, man, what a blessing that Derek connected me with you, Jermael. I mean, that's freaking awesome, man. We'll do another show where we just spend time on Absolver. But, man, this conversation, I hope, helps people. Lets them know that, you know, what we're talking about today is important. Man, I loved it, man. I would love to do this again, to be quite honest. I enjoyed it.
I would too. With that being said, I'm sorry, Mr. Tommy. Jermael, how can we exchange contact info?
Yeah.
You got an email, TikTok, Instagram. I mean, we can do cell phones too, man. That's cool too.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm open. You can call me. Text me first, though. I got to think about numbers.
Yeah.
Maybe on email.
I'm in bed. I'm in bed. I'm watching Netflix. Leave me alone. Text me.
Yeah. Maybe on email we could pass all our information together. But I mean, Andre, it's Black Heroes Club on both TikTok, Instagram, right?
Yeah, bro. I was able to get a YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, what's not. Like, no one used that name before.
That's crazy. I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
Reddit. I'm on Reddit. I got mine on Reddit. Bro, I was so hyped that no one. You know how hard it is to get, like.
I know.
Yeah.
That is pretty dope, man. And then Jermael, I mean, it's still Absolver on Instagram, right? That's how we follow you, Absolver?
Yeah, Absolver_the race.
Yep.
On IG.
Okay.
Facebook is Absolver the Prince of the Oblivion.
Okay.
TikTok is Jermael Lessie. I forgot I think on Twitter is Jermael Lessie 1.
Okay.
My personal pages is Jermael Lessie, both Facebook and IG. But you're not gonna get too much personal stuff. I'll probably share more pictures of me and my dog, but
yeah.
Hey, but look, you said Lefty? Jermael Lefty?
Lessey.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
No, man, I'm gonna shoot you my numbers, man. You guys good. Like, man, listen. Like I said, if you just call right after this, I'm not gonna pick up. I'm like, who? I have to say text me first. You know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, both of you. And I'll make sure that I put all your IG and TikTok handles in the comment section. That way everyone can follow you. But, man, if you haven't picked up Absolver, go to KonkretComics.com. You could get 1 through 3 right now. Jermael is working on issue 4, so we'll wait for all that news when we're ready, man. And then make sure you're following Andre at Black Heroes Club everywhere. If you want to learn anything, man, Andre's the guy to learn from, man. I love your channel, man. So I appreciate both of you. Thank you for being on. And until next time, man, hope you guys have a great weekend. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
Take it easy, gentlemen. All right. Have a good one. Bye.